on the video with Prince J+R?
And but yeah, I hope that I forgot the question, but
Hey y'all, this is Chanel and I'm here with Prince J+R and this is Year of the Prince.
Tonight is a celebration, good vibes and it's so amazing, cause you know that we made it to another one. Tonight is a declaration, good life and it's yours, embrace it, cause you know we're the greatest, and you know we are. Cheers.
He's literally exploding with ideas all the time. Like you say hi and the next words that come out of his mouth are some crazy idea. And then you're like, wow, so, okay, let's see how that goes. And it usually goes well.
And I enjoy the way that he has a different vision for all his artists and everybody involved, and also respects their creativity and perspective and seeks to view things their way, all the while not compromising his own.
He's really dedicated to the art that he provides, the quality that he provides, and he's also dedicated to everybody on set. It's not just his music video, even though that's what we're there for. He really is concerned with how everybody is performing and how they feel. Are they comfortable? Do they feel like they're bringing their highest quality content? And that's what he's most concerned about, is the dedication of all of us as artists together, collectively. So I appreciate his collaboration.
When Prince J+R hits me up, it's normally, my reaction normally is, all right, what do we have? What's on the agenda today? What's the new project? What's sparked the idea behind these? I always like the conversations that we have on the phone. When we talk, it's always interesting to see his perspective on the ideas behind the covers and also the thought process he puts behind it. He puts a lot of thought into the covers and the illustration he comes up with. So it's always surprising to me, but I always enjoy it a lot. Prince J+R's creative process is different. It's not what I'm used to when I've worked with other people. It's always, I can see exactly what he wants in his head. He gives me a full introspective view into what he wants. If it comes to how the character looks, to the colors they have, to the posing, to where they are on the cover, it's always detailed and descriptive. Some people, when I work with them, it's not as descriptive and it's not as detailed. But with him, I can send him something at 3 o'clock in the morning and he'll respond at like 3:05 in the morning, and he'll be like, yeah, this is great. And he doesn't give me just that this is great. He gives me a what's working, what he likes about it, what he doesn't like about it, what's need tweaked to the last detail, even if it's something like as small as the eye placement. He'll knows those things. So I enjoy working with somebody who is willing to get every last detail to make sure it looks excellent. My favorite artwork that I've done for Prince J+R, I'll have to say Demon in the Bottle. I really enjoyed the characters he had, the layout as well. It's like the inspirations that he'll always send me behind the scenes for the creative process is always something that helps me give me an idea. And I like the color choices as well, even the background, the smoke, and the characters. I think all of them came together really well, and it's one of my favorites, I think, out of all of them.
You're a demon in a bottle, baby. Never loved me the right way, honey. You're a demon in a bottle, baby. Never loved me the right way, honey.
This one had a lot more adventure to it. All the artists gathered in the one house, and then we kind of journeyed into the woods, and we began shooting there in the dark in a sort of forest-like setting. And on top of that, I think it was a lot more professional. I feel like we had almost dozens more of lighting equipment and cameras and people on set helping. We had some fog machine workers. We had a lot of personnel involved in making the production great.
Don't hide. I'm going to find you. Don't hide. I see you. I'm right behind
It was also kind of exciting because I got to move in a new way. I got to groove in a way I wasn't used to, and think differently all the while too.
Okay, so it's crazy. The first day we shot, I felt like everything was so epic. It just was such a really crazy but fun, adventurous day.
We're filming, first day on The Demon in the Bottle. We're in a farm, shooting everything there, which is a super cool experience just to be in a farm. And just so much potential there. And with a broken down house, literally on their property, and then literally when we're done, it was supposed to be a 1-day shoot, and then after when it's over, he's like, we gotta have another day, we need more, I want to make this bigger, and we're like, okay.
The second day we shot, which wasn't really intended, I just kind of felt like we needed to get more epic footage to build upon what we already had.
It was originally going to be in his neighborhood, on the street, and then day of, minutes before we're supposed to leave, he's like, guys, the spirit is telling me to film in Patterson. And we're all like, what? And so he's like, okay, I'm just gonna ask everyone and make sure it's all good. And he asked everyone individually, and they all said yes. And we're like, okay, I guess we're going to Patterson.
Honey, you're a demon in a bottle, baby. Never love me the right way, honey. The heart is saying, let's go.
When we get there, minutes later, we go down the road actually, and then as we're coming back, we see a cop, and we're like, okay, now we have a different problem. We're like, nuts, what do we do now? There's a cop, do we need a permit? Do we need this stuff? And then, honestly, Cedric is just like, yo, we're just gonna go. We're just gonna walk past him, and we're gonna film, right in front of him. And then we did. The cop never got out of his car, never bothered us. And honestly, it was just a blessing from God.
The body saying let's go, but the heart is saying no, no. You're the heart of my depression.
I was severely sick and really under the weather. And ironically, Eden, who plays the Demon in the Bottle character, was also extremely sick. And so literally in between takes, I have my production assistant throwing a hand towel to me, and I'm just blowing my nose, and everybody was laughing because I literally was really sick, and we definitely should not have been out there shooting that. And then, like I said, Eden, she was also extremely sick, but I felt like what was so crazy, looking back and watching the video, no one would ever know that.
You tell me to go, you force me to stay, and I tell you no, so I push you away.
I think the elemental forces were actually impacted. It was a windy day, and so I was able to sort of even let the wind manipulate my movement and give life to some of the things I was doing physically. In a more theoretical way, it was the scriptures that were given to sort of define my movements and my personality, and I read and I tried to draw from that and structure my choreography based off of the wording. Also, it was how I was feeling that day. I was actually sick and cold, and so those sort of produced some negative emotions, and I was able to take those and turn them into sort of the workings of a demon too.
Where there were a couple of inspirations. I think one of my really big influences is Michael Jackson, and I feel like Thriller and just that whole experience, such a cinematic music video, iconic, such a staple in pop culture, and just what it represented just for Michael Jackson's career, but I think just the music video genre in general, how far you can take music videos, and there's really no limits, right? It could be a whole movie, a mini film, short film. And so I feel like Thriller was definitely somewhat of an inspiration, but I also think this past year, one film that I just was so blown away by, and this artist himself is such an inspiration for me, is Jordan Peele's Us. I just thought, wow, what a genius film. The visuals there, the concept there, and it being a real horror film as well. Some of those, you know, iconic images you can definitely see seeped into Demon in the Bottle to a certain degree. And then also, I think just, you know, those classic 80s slasher films like Friday the 13th, or, you know, just anything like Michael Myers, like just all of that was really also a part of the process and what I wanted to show visually and make it kind of scary. And then to be honest, you know, the Bible was a huge inspiration for that video, because there is a scripture in Proverbs that talks about, like, you know, get out of this woman's neighborhood, you know, she's a seductress and she's going to tempt you and bring you down the wrong path. And so I felt like, you know, what better way to really illustrate that through this really pop catchy song with this really deep message though behind it.
That glitters ain't the gold. Baby, it's just the price I pay. Why do you hurt me so bad? It goes so.
It really kind of surprised me a bit that it surpassed dopamine in, like, you know, a lot less of the time. As much as it surprised me, it also kind of didn't, because it is an awesome video.
It's so deep, and it really talks about the things that we battle with as people on the inside. It's not just like a Halloween song, even though that's what it was marketed as. It really does talk about the depths and the dark parts of all of us as people. So when I took on that role, I had to not only think about who I am and the dark parts of myself, but collectively as a group, like Spirit in Motion, we thought, how can we portray the dark parts of us as people, but also show that they're kind of deep inside there, and we're subconsciously living through those dark parts.
But then again, I love you, feel that I need you tonight. Suicide, baby, I just gotta let you go. My heart is broken, our love is broken. You're a demon in a bottle, baby. Never love me the right way.
Cinematography in that video is A1. It's epic. It's so amazing when you see the behind the scenes work that went into that video, and then you just see the end result and you're just like, wow, like that's just crazy, you know. And the cinematography is very, that's just something that's very important to me for every video. And so me and JD, my co-director, you know, I really pushed him, you know, to really get the shots that I wanted to get, but also he brought in just his filmmaking background, and he's an excellent filmmaker himself. And so, you know, I think that collaboration just birthed something so just genius, you know, because even just the direction, the movement, we had fog machine, we had explosions, we had dancing, we had, just was a lot of stuff going on. It was a night shoot, so even the lighting is very important.
Demon in the Bottle is very story driven and very narrative, and so that was kind of like a big highlight for me, to be able to make a narrative music video. I love all music videos, but especially narrative. And also, there's like literally 2 parts. It's like a 2-part music video, which is also like go big or go home, you know. 2 of my favorite songs from him, like in one video. It's like, wow, how can you go wrong with that?
You're the heart of my depression.
Whatever you feel has been put on your heart, whatever vision, whatever dream, whatever goal, right, you've been given, you have to just go out there and get it. It's been a year of just more than I could have ever asked or imagined, just literally coming to life. And I'm just so grateful for that. I just want to give a huge thank you to all my fans and all the people that support me. I am someone who is just, I'm always taken aback that there's people in the world who are listening to my songs, who are watching my videos. I just love sharing my art. I just love being given the opportunity to get all the crazy ideas and imagery that I have in my head that I feel like God puts on my heart to the world, and just for people to dissect that and for people to actually embrace that and care even. It just really means a lot, and so I'm just so appreciative for all of you, and I just really thank all of you for all the success I've had in 2019, and I'm really excited and really looking forward to the year of 2020, and so let's just get it popping.
Tonight is a celebration, good vibes and it's so amazing, cause you know that we made it to another one. Tonight is a declaration, good life and it's yours, embrace it, cause you know we're the greatest, and you know we on.